Hey guys, and welcome to the Melanin Matter. Today I'm doing a solo episode with one of my friends slash guests, and we're currently in Paris, so I thought we should talk about something kind of relevant to us living in Paris, or like our experience living in Paris, being in Paris, all that stuff. So yeah, she's gonna introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Reina. I'm a student at Loughborough University like Natalia, and like she said, we're going to talk about our experience here in Paris. And
so to kind of be more specific about what that means, we're kind of going to be talking a little bit about racism, as well as our experiences dating in Paris, and kind of how those experiences may have affected us being here. So in terms of like racism in general in Paris, how do you feel it has affected you?
I feel like racism here is definitely not the same as, for example, if you look at the USA, but there's definitely racism here. I did experience racism, for example, in the workplace. Just like little stuff that my colleagues can say to me that they think it's funny, but it's not. And I don't want to call them out because I don't want to
what's the thing though? I want to know what they said.
I have one example, for example, that happened to me actually like 3 days ago, because I'm on a placement right now.
So like fairly recent too.
Yeah, it's
wow.
recent, yeah. So it was basically this colleague of mine who asked me if I was the cleaning lady. And she saw me, and so she assumed, because she saw a black woman with braids, that I must be the cleaning lady, where in fact she actually saw me the day before. So she knew me, I knew who she was, and she just came up to me and she said, "Oh, are you the cleaning lady?" And she didn't even apologize. So I was like, "No."
She didn't even apologize?
No. So I was like, "No, you saw me yesterday. I'm doing my placement here for a whole year." And she was like, "Oh." She just said, "Oh," like not even like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to."
This makes me question whether she has brain damage, one, or whether she just can't recognize black people. I don't know. This is just weird. Was she black? Was she white?
No, she was white.
Oh, okay.
In her I think in her 50s.
In her 50s. So she's not even like young or anything. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I would feel embarrassed.
I was embarrassed for her. Even the fact that she didn't apologize, I was just like,
yeah,
okay. Like, apart from that, honestly, like here, in a way, I haven't really experienced like racism here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have like examples that touched me, or like something that happened to me in particular.
I kind of agree.
Just be like microaggressions.
Yeah.
Like small things, but not like something like, oh yeah, like calling me like, I don't know, like the N-word.
Yeah.
Or, it's not. Yeah, it's not like in the USA, I guess, for example.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me as well, I've never experienced like hardcore racism in Paris, for sure.
But stereotypes though, right?
Yeah, stereotypes you definitely get. Being uncomfortable, you get a lot as well. I don't know. I think that it's just kind of the mentality a little bit of people here is a little bit different than what I would have expected for France, I would say. Like, just not being aware about certain stuff, not being aware of like what's okay to say and not say, for instance, and like it's kind of accepted to be kind of racist as a joke. Like that's very much accepted here.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like, I have another example, but it didn't happen to me. Was my cousin? She told me that, again, in the workplace, she was just working, and that day she came to work with her hair curly, curly and stuff. And her colleagues were like, "Oh my god, you look so different. Like, I didn't recognize you. I thought you were the other black girl that there is in the workplace, but they don't look alike at all. Oh, you look so like exotic," and all that stuff. And she was like, she told me that a colleague came up to her and started singing Hakuna Matata.
What the fuck? That's not okay.
So she knew that it wasn't okay, but she just literally like stood there like, "Oh my god, it's really happening to me right now. Like, someone is literally singing The Lion King to me, like Jungle Fever or whatever."
Oh, that's
so
bullshit.
She was just like, but apart from that, I feel like in the workplace, it's pretty common. But like on a day-to-day basis, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I've never worked in Paris or France or anything like that, so I wouldn't be able to tell exactly. Personally, I've had more worse experience, like outright racist experiences in Hong Kong than I would say in Paris. But I feel, you definitely get weird kind of like stereotypes as
and
well.
Sometimes
like,
stares as
and
well.
stares, definitely. I think you definitely get stares, depending on, like, for instance, I live in a pretty white neighborhood, I would say, like where
Right?
I live basically with my grandpa, so he basically just he lives in a very white neighborhood, and sometimes I get stares about like, oh, why am I there, or like people think I'm either like following them or something, but I'm really not. I'm just like going
like
home.
You're gonna steal something.
I don't know. It
depends
odd.
on the neighborhoods, I guess. Because I'm not far away from Saint-Cloud as well.
Yeah.
So I did experience some things, because like where I live, around us, it's like how do you say HLM?
Oh,
so,
like
social
housing,
building.
social housing,
social housing, yeah. So I feel like sometimes they associate me with.
Lol. Okay, I see.
Yeah, because they.
So they kind of assume that you're like a lower income group.
Yeah, or like, because it's really like stereotypical. But though, like the kids living in those social housings, like they sell weed. You know, like the police come sometimes. So I feel like sometimes they think that I'm their friends, when in reality, like I don't even, like I don't know them. I don't hang out with them. I just happen to live around here, because in our building, actually, we're the only like black family in that building, and like around us, it's just social housing with people from North Africa or
That's for me, actually, yesterday I was coming out of the train station, and I had my ticket in my hand because I was about to like go out, go back home, and the actual like guy stopped me to like check if my ticket was valid, and I was just like, what? Like I didn't understand. I was so confused. I was like, first of all, I was like, why are you approaching me? Like I was like, this is scary. Like no one of the guards is approaching me, and he was like, oh, can I see your ticket? And I was like really confused. I was like, did I do something wrong? Like I'm about to use this ticket to leave. Like it's not like I'm about to jump over anything in front of you. Like you can't even jump or anything. I'm like, I don't understand like what the logic was, and like he would have seen if my ticket didn't work if I just tried it. So I was like, I just felt really uncomfortable and weird. I was like, okay, sure.
You showed it to him.
I showed it to him, and he was like, okay. And I was like, okay. Like I literally rolled my eyes because I was like, what did you expect? Like I don't know. There's definitely instances like that, and I think the biggest thing about being black, or I guess mixed in my regard, is like in Paris, I think it's just kind of like this expectation that you're this hypersexual being. I feel like, I don't know if you get that, but I feel like I get a lot of uncomfortable sexual stares, and definitely a lot of, and it's like, and the thing is that in Paris people don't really feel bothered by doing that either, like having that sort of behavior. Like they don't feel bothered at all.
It's weird, because I feel like this is really something that happens in Paris. I don't know for you, like in London, for example. Like in London, I haven't experienced like things like that, but in Paris, people will actually like come up to you, like actually like look at you and like stare at you. And
they're so comfortable. And I'm like,
but I've never had something like that in London, or maybe like didn't pay attention. But like here
in London, I have gotten a few things, like very rarely, but the one time I went, I had gotten like I think 3 interactions of people just coming up to me for the most random reasons, which was really uncomfortable. One of them was just kind of like, hey, I just came over to tell you you have a nice ass. Legit, like out of nowhere. I was like, okay. Like he was high on something, you could tell, but I was like, okay. And then this other time, there was just one guy who kind of like passed by and like looked back at me several times, and it's just like a little bit uncomfortable. You kind of feel like, in London, but in Paris you definitely get people actually like coming up to you to talk to you.
They do that
like completely random, and I feel like that's, and I don't know if that's just like a woman experience in general, or
a woman experience
because like it's really uncomfortable.
That's a woman experience in general. And even now I feel like with lockdown, people are like even crazier because for 3 months they didn't see women or didn't see anything. So that's
uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's so uncomfortable. So I feel like people are just crazy now. Like, they see legs and they just go crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
this
I think that's
is,
a
like,
women experience in general.
I always like dress to make sure that nothing is visible.
And we shouldn't.
I do not want to take any sort of subway, train, anything like that.
Yeah, we shouldn't feel like that.
Yeah.
That's the.
Ew, V.
Encore? Elle est partie? Non mais je veux.
Elle y était il y a 2 secondes. I don't see it anymore. Don't look. No, but yeah. Oh, also, like, in terms of, like, I don't know, guys and dating, like, in terms of who you're interested in, because I haven't had quite a lot of interactions in Paris with guys because I mostly see, like, my cousin or, like, I don't really know anybody, really. Like, I didn't know anybody here until, like, I think a couple weeks back when I realized, oh, there are people here over there for the summer and stuff like that. But so I don't really interact that many times with guys at all, apart from, like, my cousin's friends or stuff like that.
Do you guys like to go out, like, meet people?
Not
like
really.
French guys?
Not really. Like, I think there are a few people, like, within the neighborhood that, like, I've met. Like, I think I went to a party last year. But I didn't really get to know that many people or anything like that. And then I don't know, I was bored this summer, like a couple months back. So I just decided to, like, download Tinder to see what was on there. Like, I wanted to see. It's
Go
not
on Bumble.
Really?
Apparently Bumble is the one. Like, Tinder is really known just for, like,
sex.
So apparently Bumble is
but the thing is that, like, I was on there, and already, let me just say, the standard is better than in Hong Kong. That's all I can say, because, like, in Hong Kong it was not interesting at all. Like, I don't think I even talked to a single guy for longer than a day, because super inactive, not really answering either. So I was like, whatever. But in Paris, I think I matched with a lot more guys because I was, like, a lot more interested, I would say. But I don't know, conversations didn't last that long.
I think it really depends on the people, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I haven't tried dating apps, to be honest. I haven't.
One guy asked me when we were getting married. I was like, what?
After what, like 3 hours of talking?
No, the first message.
Oh my god.
I was like, bro.
Oh, but that was a pickup line then.
No, I know. I was playing along with it. I was just telling him, like, I mean, we were gonna have an expensive wedding and stuff like that, hoping it will, like, chase him away. It didn't really. I just stopped responding after a while because he said something weird. But I don't know. I think, like, the interactions were just a little strange, uninteresting.
I think maybe try to switch apps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. But other than that, I feel like my experiences in Paris with guys are very, very limited, just because I don't know, it took me a while to even come out of the apartment by myself. Let's just put it like that, because I felt very uncomfortable. Usually I go everywhere with my mom, but then my mom wasn't there for every summer, so I think I had to get more used to going to places by myself and feeling comfortable doing that. But I don't know, it's not really like you meet any people in particular.
And there's also, like, this narrative of Paris being, the city of love, and
oh my god, that is so bullshit.
That everyone is so romantic here, when
that
in fact
it's BS.
Nope.
I've not experienced a single romantic thing here.
I mean, there are places that are romantic, of course.
Okay,
like, the city
Paris,
is beautiful.
But
it's not like you're gonna walk.
Wow. Yeah.
And just, like, this guy is gonna come up and he's gonna be like, the man of.
No, like, if you're expecting, like, oh my god, you're so pretty, you're like, wesh madame.
Wesh madame, je vais avoir votre numéro là. Je vais avoir votre 06.
A little bit, yeah. You don't get anything romantic. No, yeah. It's pretty funny. So I would say that, like, don't come expecting that. But at the same time, like,
you never know though.
Exactly. I mean, I went out to a club once in February.
Yeah. In clubs, you get to meet a lot of people.
It was like a club. I don't remember where it was, but it wasn't too.
Bastille. No, peut-être.
I don't know, but it was a very much black-dominated club. So I don't know if it was like I really don't know if it was like a typical club, because I'd never been to any other club, so it's not like I have anything to compare it to. But it was very much like, I have no idea. but it was, I don't know, there were quite a lot. I don't know, it was one of those clubs where there are guys who try to bring in girls so they can be on a table for free and have free drinks. Some shit.
Do that
I
everywhere.
It's a concept that I never get.
Friends.
Yeah, like I never got that concept.
Yeah, we just come in like free.
Yeah.
And then try to like find some guys who can actually pay us drinks.
But that's the thing. It wasn't the guys. The guys working at the club got us a table.
Oh yeah, they do that.
And I was like,
they
what?
do that. And they offer you like drinks and stuff just for you to come.
Yeah.
Because they actually need girls.
Yeah.
To, that's pretty.
Yeah, it was a new experience for me. But I think like being out there as well, like the amount of
uncomfortable situations.
Guys. No, I think it was very much a focus on like sexual dancing, twerking, that sort of stuff. And I feel like that's when I was kind of just like, there's this weird expectation for like black women in particular to twerk, and then it's even more expected of white women to try to keep up with them. And it's, I don't know, it was a weird it was a lot of fun, like, but it was weird. And I think like there's very much as well this vibe of like, oh, like we're gonna film you twerk on this person and like put it on our Snapchat stories, and like I don't know, it's just like a lot of, it was interesting, let's just put it like that. I'd never experienced anything like that before, so I was like, okay. No, because like I don't normally go out to a club to twerk, like not to be, you know, you don't go to the Union and like twerk, you know, it just doesn't work like that. So I was like, what's going on? So that was like my first and only interaction outside. Otherwise, like I think also, I don't think this directly applies to us, but I think being black and especially like a man in Paris must be a lot more difficult, because I think there's already this kind of like stigma around you, I would say. I don't know, I think it's like, because there are definitely places in Paris where you feel less safe and usually those places are places where either there's like lower income, and usually it's people from, I don't want to say foreigners, but like from either parts of Africa or parts of the Middle East and stuff like that. And that's kind of like the populations, like diasporas basically. There are populations of diasporas in certain neighborhoods, and those ones are deemed less safe and stuff like that. So I think like depending on how you look and stuff like that, there's definitely a different perception that's going to be onto you. I think because I'm somewhat like well dressed and stuff like that, I don't have the same stigma upon me as if I were not, you know, as if I looked like I wasn't from a well-off family. And obviously there's a lot of privilege that comes with having money and stuff like that as well. So I think that we'll never have the same experience as someone who is from a lower income country. Lower income in Paris. Yeah.
But what's sad is that you get associated.
That's true.
With that sometimes when, I mean, you know, you can be like, I don't know, like work, like go to university, and sometimes you'll just be in some neighborhoods in Paris and they'll see you as, you know, the one who's, I don't know, like uneducated and stuff like that, when in reality you're not.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
I think overall, like the experience in Paris is kind of just, it depends on the person for one. But I think like I've never actually lived in Paris long term, so I think like my perception of what I have experienced at least isn't going to be as accurate as someone who's lived there for like a very long time, stuff like that, because I've only had like,
depends
you know,
on like we said, like the neighborhood.
Exactly, and like which neighborhood you live in, because people will judge you based on the neighborhood you live in for sure. So I think it's like you have to be aware of these things, I guess. But I think at the same time I only had like droplets of experiences, so I have never lived here, so I guess there's that to take into account. But hopefully this episode was interesting for you guys. I know it's a little bit short, but we're a little bit pressed for time. But this was a lot of fun having you on here as well. It was a lot of fun. But thank you guys for listening, and so I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Next week we'll be back with everyone, and we'll be talking about hair, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. We'll be talking a little bit about
the stigma surrounded around hair, and we haven't exactly fully fleshed out what we'll be saying, but it'll be super exciting, and hopefully you guys are excited about that too. Anyways, bye, and see you guys next week.